this week I felt really depressed, and it was so intense that I thought that I have to change my job. I have to change my living situation. And these feelings were very much attached to this story about having shame for not having achieved enough and for being in the situation where I am. And this story came about because it was projecting the feeling of being depressed onto the situation that I am in. And of course, the situation doesn't necessarily cause those feelings, but that's what the ego does. The mind and the ego creates this big story around why you feel the way you do. And it can create some chaos inside of you, some frenzy, some anxiousness inside of you as you think, I have to take action on this. But of course, when you're feeling depressed, it's kind of hard to take action. You just feel like resting. There was a desire to escape from my circumstances because the story said, if you leave your circumstances or change your circumstances, you'll feel better. And it was this pattern of trying to take action or do something to change the way I felt because there was a judgment against how I felt. Oh no, you can't feel depressed because you have all this work that you need to do, especially work that you add on top of yourself in order to alleviate or try to mitigate feeling depressed. Maybe you don't need to change your entire living situation. Maybe you don't need to leave your job, to leave your relationship if you have one. I'm not in a relationship, so I don't need to worry about that. You maybe don't need to leave your living situation, because it could be that this is something that is coming up within you to be seen and felt through and purged completely. And this could have a lot to do with the intense energy that has been going on for some time now, and it's really ramping up. So I've been struggling so much this week with a lot of anger and frustration and resistance. A lot of resistance against, the things that are happening in my life. Situations that are triggering me, that are bringing up all this anger and also this intense depression. So I actually took the day off work. I took a sick day and spent a lot of it in bed. Even though I wasn't technically sick, I was exhausted. And this morning, I laid in bed before work and I felt such deep depression. Instead of resisting it, I just immersed myself in it. I just surrendered to it. I just let myself release that resistance and feel it fully. And it actually felt kind of good because I let go of the judgment and the resistance that said, I can't feel this, this isn't good, this is bad. I just wanted to feel and just have the space to be allowed to feel what I was feeling. And you know what? I felt through it. I eventually got up and did my work and had a good work day. I went from completely depressed and lethargic to actually quite productive today and active. Now, if you are dealing with clinical depression, I wouldn't expect such miraculous healing to occur so soon, but I don't think this is a case of clinical depression. I think this, for me, was that healing and that purging of some really deep, really dark energy. And who knows if it's mine or, if it's a collective energy. For me, it doesn't matter. I can feel through it and release it. I think that I'm experiencing some really deep core wounds right now, and I'm going through this intense healing process. The mind and the ego is just going nuts, going crazy, and I managed to calm myself down maybe by the end of the day and wake up the next morning all in a tizzy, like just consumed by all these stories and this intense emotion. So it's really, really hard. It's okay if you're having a tantrum, if you're feeling like a little kid having a tantrum. I do. It's okay if it's confusing, because it is going to be confusing to the old patterns that don't understand what you're moving into. You're letting go of all these patterns of lack, paradigms where there is this scarcity mindset that we have lived in that has been basically considered common sense. There's been a lot of judgment, a lot of lack of love. All of that's changing. We're changing. We're birthing a new world and a new reality within ourselves. And so the process can be a little chaotic. I've been using the meditation group that I joined. I've been using journaling, contemplation, meditation. All of that is going to help to recenter you and refocus. And it's going to be a day by day thing. Don't expect it to all get better at once. Just do what you can, seek relief where you can, and ultimately trust in yourself, trust in the process, trust that you're going to know the right thing to do at the right time. And we will see what emerges at the end of it. In hindsight, we'll be able to look back and put the pieces together and really understand, yeah, I was really working through that in my life, and this is how that unhealed part of me was affecting me in my life. Now that that's healed, like, this part of my life is so much better. So we can see that looking back, but in the moment, we can't see where we're going forward. We're moving forward in the dark, and that's okay, because when the path is illuminated, we get to fully see all the magic that has happened. For now, we just trust in the magic that is happening.